Am I back? I'm back. Goodness. If you're still here, thank you for sticking with me. And if you need to come back to this, that's totally fine too. Technology is great and sometimes it doesn't work. So what we're talking about today, I lost the initial video that I just recorded, so we'll do this again. We are talking about 3 big questions and how our mindset can impact these questions. So question number 1, how do I get the world to stop fetishizing moms doing it all? In other words, how do I get people in the world, in society, to stop having these unreasonable expectations of me? Number 2, how do I get more cooperation from my household? And number 3, how do I stop trying to do everything? I think a lot of us come into those questions thinking that in order for the last one, how do I stop trying to do everything, the first 2 have to be taken care of before I can stop trying. If people stop expecting me to do everything, then I could stop trying to do everything. If my family helped out more, then I wouldn't have to do everything. If the world expected something different, then I wouldn't have to do everything. But here's the thing. That's not necessarily true. I've been on the end of my family helping out, and I've been on the end of people doing things, and I still felt like I needed to try to do everything. And I know that some of you may not like that answer, but it's true. It all starts with your mindset. It doesn't start with the mindset of the world or the mindset of your partner or your neighbor or your best friend or your mom. It starts with you. And so if you start with this mindset of everything needs to be done and it needs to be done in a certain way, you are always going to be the fallback. And I've talked about this lots of times. I've talked about like getting help and letting go of control so that we can receive support and help. I've talked about advocating for ourselves, but I want to make a very strong point today that while these 3 questions seem huge and potentially unrelated, they are very much related, because the answer here, we can ask, how do we get the world to stop fetishizing moms? How do we get more cooperation out of our household? How do I stop trying to do everything? Same answer. I start speaking up. I can't today change the societal narrative of what a mom is. I can't today force my family to help me. What I can do today is speak up. I can do a post or give a talk somewhere. I can push to spread this narrative that, hey, moms aren't meant to do everything. And this society, the patriarchal society that we live in, has been relying on moms to do everything for far too long, and it's unreasonable. I can use my voice. I can advocate. And what is keeping us from advocating? What is keeping us from using our voice? A lot of times it's confidence, because it's impossible to grow up in this world where you're receiving these messages, and as woke as you are, as aware as you are, it's impossible for them to not get in on some level. So these messages have gotten in, and they have hit us to our core. So what do we need to do? What can we do to push back and say, no, I'm not going to abide by that. I'm not going to behave that way. I'm going to push off the expectation. And what we want to have happen, like the reason that I talk about people pleasing so much, is what we want to happen is for everyone to be like, yes, totally, absolutely, you go, you got it. That's not going to happen. We're going to disappoint people. And people are going to make themselves very not heard, but they're going to be very vocal when we disappoint them. And so we just have to be strong in our confidence. And how do we do that? We surround ourselves with other moms and a community that believes in us, like Moms Against Martyrdom. Everyone in this community wants to throw off the expectations of society. They want to stop doing it all. So as we grow and grow, you can see more and more women want to do this. There's lots of women out there that just don't know about this group that want to do that. So you don't have to wait for the world to change, and you don't have to wait for your family to get it or for them to contribute. You start with you today. So start small. This is huge, is starting small, because you can't tackle everything, and that's a way to get burnt out and then feel like, oh, this was a waste of time or whatever. But just start small. So one thing that comes up in your mind as a should, you're like, oh, I should sign my kid up for a sport this fall. Okay, pause on that. Anytime you hear yourself say should, you should always pause. I shoulded you. You can always pause when you hear yourself say should, because when you are saying I should do that, that can either mean that you are responding to a message that you picked up from society or from your parents or from someone else outside of you, or you are responding to something that is true to you, to your values, and there's something that you want to do that you care about. And so in order for you to stick to your values, you should do this thing, right? Because that is in line with your values. So if I believe strongly in supporting women's mental health, which I do, I can say I should donate to the Loveland Foundation or Postpartum Support International. I should do these things. And that kind of should, I can pause and say, well, am I doing that because I think that's what the world expects me to do, what someone else expects me to do? Or am I saying that, in this case, I'm saying that because I'm like, this is something that I care about. This is something that I am passionate about. And so if I am passionate about it, I can actually connect my dollars, I can connect my action with my passion. And that is a great thing to do. So I can still replace the word should with could. And there's more power in the could than the should. Because if you should, there's an immediate judgment. There's an immediate you haven't done something that, or there's this big law over your head of you should do this thing. And if we can just replace should with could and start small with these little things, then we can practice with those little things and build that muscle. And eventually we can do it with more and more things. And so when we're talking about how do I stop trying to do everything, how do I get the world to stop, you advocate for yourself. You say no to the committee. You speak up. You do these things that you don't want to do. You aren't the center of the universe, and the universe will keep spinning without you. I don't think any mom would say that they believe they are the center of the universe. And I think quite the opposite. We grow up thinking that we need to provide for everyone else. And the way we're taught it is almost like that's where our value comes from. But what that means is our worth and our value comes from this place of being needed and being necessary. And I'm telling you that you are worthy and you are beloved regardless of how much people need you. And your kids are never going to stop needing you. You are going to be needed even if you're not running yourself ragged and exhausted all the time. You're going to be needed. So we can let go of that, okay? And specifically how to do that, it can be different for each person, but there's tools like journaling. I talk about journaling all the time because I think it's great. So we can journal. Think about these things when you're doing movement and you're moving your body and you're just like, just letting that go. Meditation. So many good tools to start letting go of things. But I would encourage you to start small and say no to something. So what is something that you can say no to? Is it the cleanliness of your house this week? What if instead of cleaning your shower every week, you cleaned it every other week? If you never clean your shower, like me, I never clean my shower. Something else, obviously. I don't want you to hear that and be like, oh, I never clean my shower, so I'm like trash. Like, that's not the point. I'm just coming up with random ideas, like whatever it is that you do. If you have in your mind that the counter needs to be cleared every night, well, are you doing that because you really want it to be clean and it is impactful to you and you care about it, or because you think that a good mom has a clean countertop? Because those are very different. I'm not telling you not to clean your counter, but I am telling you to evaluate why you're doing it. Because I'm certain that everything that you are doing is not because you believe in it. There are things that you are doing that are because you are trying to meet an external expectation of what you should be. And that's not going to get you anywhere. So the way that we change the world, the way that we change our family, is we start with us. We can't control what they do. We can have clear communication and be, I've said this before, but clear is kind. When you tell your family what you want from them and what you expect of them and how they can support you, and you have a conversation where you're not dictating to somebody, but you're entering into this actual conversation and you're like, this is what's important to me, this is what I'm thinking, what are you thinking, then you have a lot more space. If you are a single mom and you don't have a partner in the home and you don't have external help, then like that's just one less thing that you have to do, is that you still have to you probably still have to communicate with your co-parent that you're raising your children with, or maybe you don't. But this communication, we can do it with our kids. We can do it with our friends. You know, if a friend tells you, like my single mom friends, I was in a period of life where I had a partner, but I spent almost every minute of my day with my single mom friends. And it's like, you can tell them what you need. Like I called one of my friends and said, hey, can you come over here and watch my kids while I fix my plumbing leak? Like that's an extreme example, but like talk to each other. If someone is your friend, they want to help you, they want to support you. So how can you support each other? Can we do childcare swaps? You know, it's this idea that we have that we're supposed to do everything on our own, and we really have to start pushing back on that and start saying no. Part of my self-sufficiency and being self-supporting is intentionally building community. I'm intentionally building community so that I don't have an unreasonable expectation and I can be truly supported through my actions of building this community, because we are not meant to do this alone. So, I feel like I'm starting to get riled up, but that's okay. Mindset. Stop trying to do it all, and you will eventually stop trying to do it all. That doesn't make any sense, but I think you know what I'm saying. The world will run without us. So keep that in mind. And you are very needed. And you're not needed because you wash the dishes. You're not needed because you schedule the appointments. You're not needed for all of the things you do. You are needed for the love, the connection, the being with your children. You are needed because you are amazing. And there is only one you. A billion other people can wash your dishes. A billion other people can schedule your appointments. But you are the only one that can give that hug, that can be there in the way that they need. And so that's where you are needed. You are not needed in all of the noise and all of the things that the world has told you that you need to do to be a good mom. So start with yourself. That's my message today. How do I get the world to stop fetishizing moms doing everything? How do I get my family to contribute? How do I stop trying to do everything? Stop expecting yourself to do everything and say no to the expectations of others. Clear communication with those in your life. So that was a lot. I got a little woo-woo there on you. That's okay. But that's where we're at. And that's all I have for you today. So for those of you watching live, hello. So excited to see you guys. And yeah, so definitely drop a comment below and let me know if you're here now or if you're catching the replay. And let me know what resonated with you and what other questions you have about this. So take care. Have a good one. Bye.